Back here on the Columbia Cougars Coaches Show, Mediacom Channel 22. My name is Cosmo with head coach of the Columbia College Cougars, Bob Burchard. Again, congratulations for jumping back into that top 25. I know it's a place you want to be for, especially towards the end of the season, that helps out with some possible at-large bids depending on how tournament plays out. But the Cougars in at number 19 as of right now. Two big regular season games left in conference play. You've got Harris-Stowe on the road in the St. Louis area, and then Saturday at home on a big day, not only for Mike Davis's ladies team first, but then for your club against William Woods. Let's start off with the matchup against the Hornets at their place.
Well, we don't talk a lot about national rankings. Cosmo, you mentioned it, but it is nice to be in the conversation, and I think that all these games, have impact on postseason, whether it's national rankings or seeding in postseason tournaments. So it is good to be in that conversation, certainly at this time of year. Harris is a very dangerous team. It's a very difficult game on the road, always there. Again, it's an environment that is challenging, for all of our teams. I think Hollins is a great guard for them, and it can put up big numbers on you. They play the game a little bit differently, and so it'll be a different challenge. We're going to have to play against a lot of zone, and they're very, very patient with the basketball. They don't shoot it a lot. The game here was much like the games we've been talking about.
Yeah.
It kind of had some swings to it. It was a little bit close as we moved down, and we were fortunate to come out on top. So certainly that'll be a challenging road game for us. And then we'll wind up the regular season here. Saturday afternoon contests, we expect big crowds for that game. Senior night, yep. William Woods close by. Obviously, it's going to have a huge impact on the doubleheader with the women, and that'll be playing for championship, regular season championships for them. It's our Alumni Appreciation Day,
yeah.
And so we'll have a lot of alums back, and so there's a lot of excitement, on days like that. It'll be a great way to wind up the regular season, and we're certainly looking forward to the competition on both those days.
And obviously, depending on what shakes out with a couple of the other teams, with McKendree, with 2 losses, with yourself, you guys are tied atop the conference standings right now, and Park then with a 3rd loss, and they play each other on that day, so it could be a very interesting couple of moments around the end of your game if their game finishes as those two play each other. And McKendree has another game as well against Williams Baptist, who did knock off Park. And then you talk about this Woods team that gave you all you could handle at their place, and they took Park to an overtime contest a few weeks ago.
Well, as in all sport, you hear a lot of scoreboard watching.
Oh, yeah.
When you get to the last games,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Who's doing what. I think a lot of that will be going on. One of the fascinating things, of course, about the information age is people will be watching their phone and seeing what happened in games. And I think as coaches would always tell you, and you always hear at this time of year, that the best place to be is in a position where you truly control, your own destiny, so to speak. And we're in that position, which is very nice. And so we really just need to focus on playing great basketball and getting to our highest level. There's still a ton of things that are going to occur here in the next couple of weeks. And in my mind, your major focus really needs to be right now playing at your highest level. And we talk to our guys about that a lot, Cosmo, in that what we really, really want to focus on is at what level can we play the game, and not worry about whatever rankings or standings or anything. That has a way of just taking care of itself. If you play the game at a high level, you put yourself in the best position. I know that sounds like coach speak, but it truly is right. One of my favorite stories came out of an Olympic swimming event I was watching, and a gal came out of the pack and won the race, an amazing finish, like you see in swimming in the Olympics. And they get out of the water, and like in today's world, the first thing that happens is the television announcer goes right up, puts a microphone, soaking wet, and asks her, says, how did you do that? You had the last Olympic champion on one side of you and the world record holder on the other side of you, but you won the race. And I always loved her comment, and she just said, all I try to do is stay in my lane. And for years I thought that is the most appropriate thing for everything we've just talked about. You know, it's important for us to just stay in our lane, do the best that we can do, focus on the things that we do, and then let the other things fall into place.
Yeah, as we've seen with this conference, and we've talked about it throughout the season, it's very tight, very close. These are familiar. It's all, you know, it's a family analogy where you've played these teams so many times over the years, and this team's beaten this team and back and forth, and you trade off wins, and here we come down to the last weekend of the season to find out who gets the top seed and would then receive the home court advantage throughout the conference tournament, and then obviously the winner of the conference tournament gets the national at-large bid, at least to the national tournament, and you see where you're at from that point, whether you get to make another return trip to Kansas City. You mentioned briefly about the festivities on Saturday. We'll get into that a little bit more and talk about your two seniors that'll play their last regular season home game at Southwell Complex coming up on Saturday against William Woods. Back with more with head coach Bob Burchard. You're watching the Cougar Coaches Show on Mediacom Channel 22.